I'ma say what I feel, and I promise to keep it real. Welcome to the Rant Room. So you wanna be a writer? Well, you gotta be a writer till your fears are diminishing, the doubts are behind you. It's hard to grind in the business, got me stressed in the rant room. We let that shit up off our chest. You never have to guess when you're listening to Hilliard. He gon' bring more game than a shark playing billiards. It's all about the craft of screenwriting. It's exciting when you turn an outline into something enlightening. Your pen and words are like bullets in a gun. Write what you feel, say what you want. Welcome to the Rant Room. Oh yeah.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Hilliard Guest, and you guys are listening to the Screenwriters Rant Room. We keep it real, we keep it opinionated, we keep it what, everybody?
Game all day.
Yeah, you hear that chorus? I like that. On this show, we discuss entertainment, TV, film, music, culture, but our focus is always screenwriting, stories, craft, and shit like that. We got a dope episode for y'all. Super excited for it. Make sure you guys go on ScreenwritersRantroom.com. Get your t-shirt. You see Lekethia got a t-shirt on like she cute. Look at it, trying to represent. What you know about that shirt? I got mine on, trying to be cute. Stuff like that. We got them in gray, black, white, and royal blue. So please support the show. It's the best way to support us. All right, love you guys. If you guys are grown, we're gonna jump into the show. So today we're gonna have a conversation about genre.
Ooh,
so I had to have two of my favorite peoples in the building right now on this particular topic. My man James Moore in the building, writer, producer, manager, author. I know I'm forgetting 9.
Publisher.
There it is. TikTok guru. Look at him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Uncle James to all y'all. What's up, James? How you doing, man?
Happy to be here once again, especially to talk about genre. You know, that's my jam all day. I can live in a horror movie theater and just just call my legs. That's my thing.
That's what's up. Then we got my girl Lekethia Dalcoe in the building again.
Yes.
She's like, how'd you call me back already?
I'm excited. Thank you for calling me back. I'm having fun.
I love having a strong woman on the podcast. And you had a nice, bubbly energy. You know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? And you just joined right in, with no hesitation. So I was like, I'm calling her back.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much for having me here.
Indeed.
Yes.
Let me start with you. Let's tell, because you guys are just kind of meeting each other.
Yes, we are.
So I'm going to have y'all tell each other what y'all do.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with you, Lekethia.
Okay, well.
Okay, that's enough.
Oh, dang. I knew he was going to do that. I was waiting on it. But my name is Lekethia Dalcoe. Born and raised from Houston, Texas. Now living in Los Angeles. A little background on what I do and why I'm on this podcast today. I consider myself a genre girly. I've written on some shows such as Silo, Two Sentence Horror Story. Was also in the development room for Marvel, building out Don Cheadle's character for War Machine. I just love building worlds, and I love worlds where you can also dive deep into character. I remember as a kid we had encyclopedias, and I will always get stuck reading those encyclopedias, creating how one character is connected to each other and the world that they live in. I just always had a big imagination. And
the kids are wondering what is an encyclopedia.
Oh wow! Okay, see, I'm aging myself. Okay, look, y'all Google everything else. Go ahead and Google encyclopedia.
Wow.
But I also love horror and stories. I was one of those you don't take to the movie theater because I always guessed who the murderer was.
So you talking out loud too,
and I'm talking out loud. I'm just excited to be here and to talk more about the worlds that I create and the worlds that I love, and to hear about the same from you guys.
That's what's up. What about you, James? Tell them.
So my name again, James Moore, affectionately known in the entertainment industry as Uncle James. I'm a writer, producer, author, publisher, and literary manager. I love horror. I write dark, character-driven horrors and thrillers where the road to hell is paved with good intention.
Yeah,
where the good fight is more than an ideal in worlds where blood-covered heroes love pancakes.
Oh, wow.
That is my jam all day long. I recently sold a script last year. Horror film is going to be coming out maybe later this year called Watch Me. I took one of my projects, Black Bones Jones, from a script to a novel, so I got my IP.
Awesome.
I grew up on when you had to sit in the dark and in the back of the car when your parents took you to the drive-in
Exactly.
and you're trying to watch. You're supposed to be under the cover asleep. No, I'm just like, yeah, I'm checking this all out.
Oh, there you go.
But horror has been my jam since the way back, and I love classic horror the most because I love horror movies that's like, we ain't explaining the damn thing. You just gonna have to sit your ass here and figure it out.
There we go.
And we roll. And some of those movies still live on and are still classic because of the ambiguity that they hold. I hate a movie that tries to explain too much. It's like, I don't need to know what happened, how did Michael Myers became Michael Myers. I just need to know that every time you kill him, he getting back up. So I'm a roll with that cat all the time.
So here's a funny thing that I know I talked about this on the show before. So a lot of people don't know. My first movie I ever saw was a horror movie.
Really?
Horror is my favorite genre.
Wow.
I've had like 3 or 4 projects that I've written a lot of scripts. So I've got let me see. So that was like more like a thriller. It's called Blackout. About a guy whose wife dies and she haunts him, type of thing. And then I have one called Mutilated that every 2 years circles back. Somebody wants to develop this show or this movie, and it's one of those contained projects like 7 people trapped, in an old tavern in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
And there's a beast trying to get in, and takes them out one by one until the classic, thing. The strong becomes weak, the weak becomes strong, type of thing. And then I started working here, and I met a producer here, and he hired me to write a zombie project for them. And so, did my hair just come out?
It sounds like
it. Didn't it? Hold on, let me just pause this. You got the vapor going.
You started on this one?
Actually, just unplug it.
Unplug it?
Yeah.
There we go.
Thank you, bud. Okay, cool. But he came here and he pitched me this like Pride and Prejudice versus Zombies type of thing, and I was like, no, that's not me. And he's like, but I thought you. And I said, let me explain to you what I would do with that project. I'm more grounded. I'm more World War Z. I'm more 28 Days Later.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I was to write it. So he had given me this premise, and it was almost like, remember that there's a video games like, I think it's like Zombies vs. Samurais or some sort of a video game.
I think remember that.
And so I was like, that's your movie. It's already a video game. If we grounded it and there were only 7 of them that got picked off one by one, now we have a movie. And he was like, huh. So I literally pitched him this whole project off the top of my dome.
Wow.
For 15 minutes.
Wow.
See?
Yeah.
And this was on a Monday, and on a Thursday, I had a deal.
Wow.
Nice.
That's awesome.
My lawyer calls me, hey, we got this thing from what? He's like, some guy on the laptop. I was like, what are you talking about?
That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah, so that one, that's called Virulent.
Nice.
And then the other one is called Mutilated. And then the first one is called Blackout. So I always say that because people see me, and I'm more writing like the Black Belt Jones. I'm writing a lot of historical things. I get stuck in that world a lot because I do it well. But if I had my way, I'd be writing on The Walking Dead. You know what I mean? Easily.
Wow.
I would be happy. You know what I mean?
Would that be your show of choice?
It's just an example.
Okay.
Of something, especially season 1 and 2. Like it was, It was
Like zombies.
for sure. I'm a zombie, vampire, werewolf guy.
Okay.
Yeah, in that order. For sure.
I'm always curious how people come into genre. You know what I mean? Is it something that you've always just knew that's what you want to write? Did you stumble upon it? You know what I mean? Like for myself, I come from the theater world, right?
Okay.
Actress in playwriting. And so one of my first, thank you.
So
So one of my first plays that I wrote, A Small Oak Tree Runs Red, which is actually based off of a lynching that took place in Valdosta, Georgia, around Mary Turner. I started to explore it as sort of like this holding space, almost like this purgatorial space where Mary's being forced to remember the counsel for lynching. And that kind of first introduced me to this stylistic way, because it became almost like a horror, like the place was alive, trying to stop her from remembering its own monster. And so, I just started exploring. For me, genre was a way to use the honey and the medicine to deal with the Black experience, a way to externalize it and to personify it in a creative way. but to also deal with social commentary. And so I find like that's a lot of what's feeding into my work, even before I even knew that it was genre.
Right.
You know what I
right,
mean?
yeah.
And so I started to explore through horror,
Mhm.
through
Yeah.
fantasy or sci-fi. And because of my sample,
Mhm.
it allowed me to be on a lot of genre type shows.
Nice.
But like that was my introduction into like the world of genre.
I've been reading. I started reading her script on Friday. I'm about almost done.
Mhm.
And you're really good at character, though.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like
me
you
too.
really, especially like when you take the position, like the doctor female character. Forgive me, her name's escaping me. But you really are in her. You're sitting in the pocket with her
Yeah.
as you feel what she feels for this little boy.
Yes.
You know, you understand why. Especially when you tell us like the big secret that happened later, like,
Right.
oh shit, this is why, like, you know what I mean? And I love that, but to me, that comes from you being a playwright and being an actor.
Yes.
Character is like
Characters
the
first.
first thing you got to learn.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Yeah, I love it. It's also how you can get that universality in
Yeah.
themes and,
Right.
and when you're building worlds, if you can
Yeah.
make a character that anybody can connect to, they'll go on a ride and
Right.
believe like whatever circumstances
Yes.
that they are in. So yeah.
Yeah, for me, I started. Wow, I love like all of the Hammer House of Horror classic
Oh
films.
yeah.
Mhm.
So like the Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing film.
Yes.
I mean, they had me like frozen. Like I started when we started watching, me like like I ain't going nowhere. But what I also grew to love about horror, and this kind of like touches a little bit about what you were just saying,
Yeah.
is that horror transcends everything.
Everything.
It's like one of my favorite horror movies, The Car. They don't explain a damn thing. It's like this thing comes out of nowhere and just starts killing people. It doesn't matter about your race.
Yeah, there's no rules to it.
Yeah,
that's
no
true.
rules whatsoever. But what is the subtext underneath that is that this is also a story about racism, about abuse, about all these things, and all of these characters are drawn into this world where it's just like this car is coming to your town. and if you in the wrong place, it's just you know,
you can
good people, bad people, it just don't matter. It's like you are all the same. And that tells a story about like where we should be when it comes to like the stuff that we don't see, like you know, the racism, the sexism, and all this other stuff that really transcends all of us.
Right.
But at the same time, here we are fighting against it, right? Instead of fighting against each other. It's just like the big monsters come. We got to put aside all of this stuff now, you know. And that was one of those understated moments in the car, and that the gentleman in the movie who was a racist and the indigenous Native American guy actually become kind of like friends for a moment. You know, you get to see that.
Right.
They don't say anything, but you get to understand that there's that bond now that's been created because it's like we got to put all of this aside if we're going to stop this thing.
Right.
So yeah. Horror just does that in such a way that I don't think that any other medium does it. You know?
So here's a funny thing. So mine comes from my childhood as well. So my mom she calls them spooky movies.
Okay.
So I remember since I grew up, still to this day, you go to the house, there's probably one of those type of movies playing, or The Price is Right or something like that.
One or the other.
To this day. So mine goes back to this. You're talking about the drive-in movies, right?
Yes.
For the kids who don't know what that is.
Break it down.
Now, y'all remember in the 70s, for those of y'all who was alive back then, in the 70s for the kids, Aaron over there going, what's that? Right?
The days before Stranger Things.
Exactly. So was Josh. Josh, what are you talking about? So we used to have, remember them vans with the big windows in the side, and you park it at the right angle, and everybody be looking out, right? So we had one of those vans. So I remember going to see Night of the Living Dead.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know why it circled back because that was in the 60s, but it's like early 60s, early 70s. And we were watching Night of the Living Dead, and my mom, we were sitting there in the car, in the truck, and one of the ladies from the church that came by. And she was like, girl, what you doing here with the kids, like watching this type of movie? And my mom said, child, and I'll never forget, for some reason, this stayed with me. She's like, I believe kids should see horror movies. And she would let us watch any horror movie, didn't matter what it was, right? She's like, I believe kids should see horror movies. She said, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember exactly, but she said something like, think about it. How many horror movies have we watched when somebody like usually some femme fatale is walking through the alley. She hears something. What is that? Right? And then all of a sudden, but we see the footsteps and she can't see him. Right? Blah, blah, blah. What you learn is eventually she whips their ass because she finds something in the alley to defend herself with. So it teaches you street smarts.
Yes, it does.
It does.
Does it not?
A lot in horror movies.
Does.
Which is why
what to do and what not to do.
facts. Which is why Black folks, in particular, why it's hard for us to be in these movies because we don't play that.
We don't.
We immediately go. Well, y'all heard some noise. Oh, bitch, it's time to go. You want to go see what's happening over there, don't you?
You want to go investigate stuff. We ain't got time for that.
No black people were in the Amityville Horror for a reason.
Exactly.
Out by.
I saw a meme recently online that shows how a horror movie would be done in like less than a second.
Exactly.
Black people. You know what I mean? There's a ghost in the house. Y'all kids pack up. It's time to go. Like we're not sticking around for this.
Yeah, and I think part of the reason of that is because we never let go of like our sense of spirituality and superstition.
I agree.
You know, to that degree was just like we still pass those wives' tales and superstitions down even to this day. And so when you see that show up in a horror movie, you're like, oh, my grandmother warned me about that. She's like, yeah, I gotta have some salt by the door if I'm gonna be over here. But I think that's what makes it special and why when we see a horror movie, it's just like we already just like, oh damn, girl, you dead.
Right. You're not making it out.
Right, you're not making it out. It's like your grandmother didn't prepare you. You know, but it's a cultural thing, I think, as well, because there's so much of what we do because horror is all about dealing with trauma. And we know about that 24/7, right? And so when we see a horror movie,
and secrets.
And so when we see a horror movie, we are already figuring out before the character does it. Okay, you go over here and grab that, and you do this, you know, like you said. Right. We're 4 or 5 steps ahead of the character. It's just like, and applauding them when they do figure it out, right? But it's already built in as a part of us.
It's that extreme fight or flight. I think it's already ancestrally embedded. You know
100%. 100%.
Your intuition tells you let's get the hell out of here.
But that's also one of the reasons why I think we appreciate movies like that as well, because when we finally see whatever the central character make that change, like with Terminator, you know, the whole time she's running until when she realizes like Reese cannot help you. He can't do anything. So finally she flips that switch and she's just like, on your feet, soldier. We gotta go. We gotta go, you know. And so it's like we understand that because it's like at some point back in the 70s again, you could run from the bullies for a while, right? But at some point, you was gonna hit a brick wall where it's just like you ain't got nowhere to run.
End.
Yes, a dead end.
What you gonna do?
You made the wrong turn in the wrong corner. What you gonna do? So it's fight or flight. You gotta turn around. You gotta fight.
I was thinking about something you said a moment ago, which I think is important. So, all of us read a lot of scripts, right?
Yes.
So the thing that I always deal with is most people when they're writing. Let's just stick with the horror thing. We'll get to some other genres in there. Why does your character have the ability they have? Like, why are they a doctor? Right? Why are they a lawyer? Why are they a teacher? Whatever it is. Usually, and this is true in the right script, in my opinion, they usually have that ability they didn't know that they needed.
Yes. I love that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the key. So whenever I think about this, I'm like, okay, I'm going to make this person this way so that by the time they have to be the one who's going to defeat the monster because they had this thing. They were the smart one. They were the one, whatever it is. They were the shy one who did it, but we didn't know we learned this thing about them, secrets, right? Everybody's got this thing that they're hiding that eventually comes up that helps them down the road. You know
that's so crazy you said that. I'm literally thinking the same thing. You know what I mean? That's what builds a great character. Like, what is it about this protagonist or antagonist that they can defeat that monster? What is embedded in them that they have to rediscover or allow to come out in order to get the deed done? It's a special skill. It's something that they didn't know about themselves. And it's like I say, it's a reflection of like humanity. Like when you're sometimes pushed up against a wall, there are things lying dormant inside of us that is powerful. That when you unleash it, it can destroy, anything. You know what I mean? So really good commentary.
Indeed.
Mhm.
Great, James.
And for me, it's one of those things that really, if you're looking to make a character special, I mean something that is memorable, right? Because like every other script and story that I read says, yeah, the hero's this, the hero's that, but I want something that I can really remember this character for. And if they've got that one quality that in the beginning it's like, this seems so insignificant,
Mhm.
it's just like they're always doing this, and it's like, oh, you've always been that way, mama's little baby, that whole thing. But then later on, when everything else has been exhausted, right? Like all of the tools and weapons and everything else has been exhausted, and they come back to that one great ability. That's the thing,
That's the
right?
thing.
So if think about like aliens, right?
Mhm.
The one thing that Sigourney Weaver's character always wanted to do was like just avoid people, avoid everyone altogether. And she's thrust into this situation where now she's got to take care of a little girl. So someone who wants to be alone, the last thing that they want to do is certainly, develop these maternal instincts.
Yes.
But what is the one line that made her famous in that movie? When she comes out of that pit in the full stuff, and she's like, "Get away from her, you bitch!" Right? I mean, the t-shirts, right? All over the place. Every woman in that moment that was watching that movie
understood that.
Totally understood that. Just like
the ultimate final girl.
Right? Yes. She's just like, nope. That's Mama Bear incarnate, right? And so it's those kind of things, right? It's like, oh, she was really this all along. She really had this instinct all along.
Mhm.
We just didn't see it or recognize how great it was going to be. Jo Beth Williams in Poltergeist, right? Everybody else is running out of the house, right? Running away. This woman in t-shirt and her underwear. I am going to save my day.
Yes. That's motherhood. That's you
it's
get
like
it.
that's her superpower, right?
Right. Exactly.
And sometimes it's not a sword or a magic potion or whatnot. It's that internal thing that you already have, and I think that's what makes these characters super special.
That's the secret sauce right there. I love it.
Which is really funny because, we're talking about a lot of movies, but you think about TV, and you've been in some horror TV writers' rooms. It's interesting where you're in the room and you think about that, especially if let's say you get your 20-week, which a lot of people don't get today, which I think is ridiculous. And let's say you get a 20-week show, you're on a horror show, and you guys are blue skying for that first, couple weeks. Shit's just going on the board with just ideas like this that we're trying to figure out for the hero, for the main characters, for the main lead roles, for all those characters. You're trying to work it out to figure out what's going to attract with them over the season. That's going to allow growth. That's going to put them in obstacles. That's going to keep putting the back against the wall, but yet find ways for them to overcome. And it may have been something in the pilot that actually shifts. You notice once you get to the room, because the ideas come that expand that world even more.
Right.
Which is why sometimes the pilot might have been written, but if they didn't shoot the show, it gets rewritten because of that reason.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And I also love another thing about that, when we're often in a room and we're trying to think about these characters and build them out, a lot of our answers sometimes, even if we don't really always put it on the screen, could be rooted in like, what is that wound? That is that trauma. What is the thing that they are suppressing? There's a reason probably why she didn't want to be around people or to take care of somebody. It's something that happened a long time ago, and we have to know that because it's the trigger that cut it off, and something else often reflected by that is going to be the trigger that turns it back on.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So really taking that, so any of those genre writers out there, just really taking that time to hone down, like, what is your character's superpower? What is your character's wound, and why they are the one in this movie that has the power to defeat the monster. You know what I'm saying? Very specific.
And you love seeing that, especially in television, because you've got the bandwidth to really
flush it out, right?
Really dive deep with those characters. And by the way, I'm going to geek out for a moment. Silo. But again, another one of those shows where it's just like, you see this character's wound, and you are feeling it as she's trying to like unearth what is really going on here. And it's not like it's not a simple process. It's an exceptionally painful process. That means that she's got to go deeper into finding and unearthing that wound that everyone else can't see, but be able to finally once and for all deal with it in order to deal with the external problem that she's facing in that moment. And it's
so true.
Yeah, it's heavy duty, but I love it.
I love like when characters. That's why I do love writing like genre for television, because you do have time to really live it. It's like the deeper you go into the bunker, deeper you go into the conspiracy, it's the deeper you're going into the soul of the character. And so it's often a mirror reflection that's being unearthed as they are fighting to uncover or to discover. They're discovering and uncovering themselves. And I love exploring that in scripts. Like, what is that parallel? You know what I mean, for our characters. So yeah, I love it.
Yeah, because stories basically, at the end of the day, it's a reflection of who we are.
Yes.
And that's why, in my opinion at least, storytellers are ridiculously vital to the success and or future of mankind.
Definitely.
Because if we are not there to unearth the trauma, unearth the problems, and be able to point to a solution, not necessarily the one and only solution, but a simple solution that leads us forward, we do a better job of connecting humanity. And now more so than ever, I think storytellers are so ridiculously important when we've got so much darkness and everything around us. We need to be creating pathways and heroes.
I agree.
Get on your job, people.
Let me ask you guys a question. This is just some fun shit. How do you guys feel about when people combine the genres, like the hybrids, right? So here's an example. We talked about zombies, just as an example. I'm from the old school of zombies. I don't mind them running. I don't want them.
I don't mind them running.
I don't mind them running because, like I said, 30 days late, 30 days, 30 days, 28 days later, and shows like that changed the genre of how the zombies work. Here's a funny sci-fi. I'm gonna get back to what I was gonna say. So I have a zombie dream at least 2 or 3 times a week.
What?
And they've been since I was a kid, and they ran like they did in 28 days later.
Wow.
And I'd never seen it until when that movie came out. It freaked me the freak out because it came to life.
Wow.
But here's the funny thing: in my dreams, I'm almost like Blade. I be kicking motherfuckers ass. I be getting them, but what happens is I almost start to get weak as I'm about to wake up. I think that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Usually I could jump up and ride it. I'll be up on top of a building or something, right? The wind be blowing and shit. I'll be doing some shit. But then all of a sudden, like, they'd be chasing me, and it would be vampires or zombies, something.
Right.
They'd be chasing me, and I would try to get up on the thing, and now I can't get up anymore. And right before they get me, I could snap out of it.
Yeah.
They've never gotten me once.
Wow.
That's it. They get my leg or something, but they ain't got the brother's
They
neck.
ain't got me in the neck.
They can't get the neck.
Okay, wait. Since you didn't drop that one.
You have a good dream as well?
I got one too. So when I was a kid, I used to always dream about this scary little woman that lived upstairs in my house, right? And she
was in there too.
This nightmare lasted until I was in my 40s.
Wow.
I mean, just like showing up at random. Why did this have her show up in Insidious?
No, like the actual thing?
The nun from Insidious?
Wow.
I mean, like, to the detail of her face.
Wow.
I'm like, literally, I had like a panic attack in the middle of this movie. Because I'm just like, how did y'all, I mean, same woman. And would be coming down, just like moving real slow, trying to get in on you. And I'm like trying to get out of the bed, and I'm moving in slow motion now.
Right.
And so and as soon as she's about to get me, I wake up.
Oh my God, that would freak me out.
And so again, there goes back to that connection with it's just like, I'm just like, how the hell did they find?
You done told this dream to somebody?
Somebody, I don't know.
Wearing the same outfit and shit.
I was so blown away because I'm just like, why am I suddenly like, because like I'll have like a little jump scare you can get me with one of those, but like starting to like literally feel like real fear.
Well, talking about fear, so this is my issue that I have with a lot of those. Let's just use zombies for example, when they make them funny or comedy or whatever. Just my opinion,
right?
you lose the ability for the characters to possibly die.
Yes.
Because everybody's like, oh, they're just zombies. Oh, we could just run and knock them over, whatever. But as soon as you turn up, let's just use The Walking Dead season 1. Let's go back to there. Shut up, man. Let's just use that as an example. The only way that Rick and well, I'm forgetting his name, the Asian guy. I'm forgetting his name. That's horrible. I know his name. Anyway, but the only way that they the whole team that came by the point. The only way they can get out of that store and walk through everybody, they had to put them in the blood and everything.
Yeah, and then they stopped doing that after a while.
Oh, but I got a whole thing for that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, what was I going to do? Oh, sorry. But the only way that they had to do that was they had to walk through there. But do you remember the feeling that first time?
Yep.
You were like in there with them and they're walking by them like, are they going to smell them? Like, what is the thing, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And they lost it. You're right?
Yeah.
Another
yeah.
But what I don't like, here's an example. Love. What's the one? What's the zombie one that's the funny one? The big one. With
Zombieland.
Zombieland. Love it. Here's my issue though. Soon as what's his name came in, Woody. Soon as Woody came in, it changed for me. Here's why. Love the movie. I still recommend it and I still watch it every couple of years, right? But as soon as he came in, he became a superhero. He couldn't die. He wasn't afraid of any of them.
Yeah.
Everybody else was afraid to die. He wasn't afraid. And that's what I hate about those.
What's the peril? What are you up against?
Yes.
You know what I mean? What's the fear of you? You know what I mean? You too have to have that same fear because that's how the audience is going to feel that fear. Right. I understand what you're saying.
Because even though he would narrate, like going in the bathroom and here are the rules and blah, 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 he still was like, I could die if I don't.
Yeah.
But as soon as Woody came in, it was like, oh, trick. You know what I mean? Whatever. Bah, 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 bah. And I was like, now it's not scary anymore.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And that's the problem that I have when you add the comedy to it. Sometimes you take away the fear part. And that's why I like it. It's for the fear part. You know what I mean? I want to see, 28 weeks later when my man had to leave his wife sitting there on the farm, you know what I mean, and run, and they chase him onto the boat. You were with him. You know what I mean? You knew somebody could fucking die.
Yes.
You know, that's when it's good to me.
Yeah. I and folks gonna hate on me for this one. But like, it ain't comedy.
Yeah,
it's
I'm not dogging Zombieland. I love Zombieland.
But like, I'm sorry, y'all. I can't deal with the Twilight stuff. I'm sorry.
That's a little. Yeah, me
I'm
too.
so
I hear you.
It's too soft for you.
Here's what you
the
have to
mixing of the
understand.
styles, like you said. It's not.
Because here's again what you have to understand is when you've been brought up. Literally, I've been brought up on Christopher Lee, on Frank Langella, on all of these guys that played Dracula and vampires so ridiculously well.
Yes.
I don't want no sparkly vampire.
Right.
I don't.
He's got up on Mama Wild.
I because for me it does kill the tension because one of the things about like every Dracula movie you see when Mina has that internal struggle is just like I want to be with him but I know he's a monster, right? And at the end of the day it's just like look, he can sound good, he can look good, but he's still a monster, right?
Dangerous.
He's 100% dangerous. And my thing is you take away the entire point of it when you blend the stuff in to make it a little more nice or palatable or just like
the vampire could be my friend.
Yeah, it's just like, a vampire is going through. No, vampires are not going through no AIDS. They're just hungry, right? It's just like I see somebody, you got a pulse.
Yes.
I want to eat you. It's just the whole thing. And for me, it's like, why combine this if it kills half of what you're doing? Right, so like,
but you're going off of the rules of what we know about vampires. Somebody changed the rules.
Created new rules.
Didn't establish the rules.
First of all, and I'm gonna say it again, y'all gonna hate on me. Vampires do not walk in the sunlight.
No.
I'm sorry.
What about mixed vampires?
Look, okay, you
human
want
blood.
A mixed vampire, Blackula. How about that?
Yeah.
But it's like there's some. I mean, I think that there should be some core tenets, and not to say that I'm one of these guys that like has to be a purist,
Sure.
right?
Mhm.
But there has to be some core tenets in it that make you understand that, look, if I'm going to love a monster, Beauty and the Beast, right?
Mhm.
I'm choosing
Right.
to love
Yes.
that monster. Don't make the monster more likable or more nice.
Yes.
Let the monster be the monster.
Right.
And, you know, and again, that's why with some horror movies, I have a problem because they try to make you think that like, well, there's a reason why he's not really. No,
They try to give you more humanity to the
yeah,
monster.
yeah. That's why I had a problem with the ending of Stranger Things. So I was like, let Vinka be Vinka.
Right.
You know,
Mhm.
we don't need to know that like, oh, he had this tragedy.
Mhm.
No, just like I want my bloodsuckers. That's all they want. They eat their steaks raw.
Mhm.
They put on the SPF 3000 sunscreen.
2000.
Yeah, and but they out here at night doing their thing. I don't know.
But because sometimes when you change the rules so much, you kind of see it as kind of like I won't say a cop out, but an easy way that a writer or creator could like put the monster in a better position or do, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
if there's certain rules,
Yeah.
it's too convenient. Like if there's certain rules, I have to think of creative ways in order to get outside of the established rules to do what I need to do. So you're thinking more creative. You're trying to figure out like what set piece or what storyline can work within the rules. But if you just break the rules,
So here then is the dangerous question. Are they really working to make this thing work? If they're working so hard to break the rules rather than like, can I just figure out a way to make this more believable, more grounded, more so like people see this and go, oh, this is different, but at the same time, I get where you're going and you're still rooted in what, you know, what the tenets say. Like you were talking about with zombies, Train to Busan, like completely changed the game for me because I'm like, the zombies were still scary, right? And they added another layer that I didn't know about zombies because like when they would go through the tunnels, zombies would calm down, right? You know, zombies in darkness, like they ain't moving, so you can move around them and do whatever, and you know, but as soon as the light hit them,
they go crazy.
But that goes back, in my opinion, to the rules of the world that you're in, right? You have to establish what they are.
Yes.
I can't tell you how many horror scripts I read, and I feel like, so you have a zombie movie, you have a vampire, you know, movie script, whatever, and you establish that in this world, you know, zombie or vampires can go out during the day,
right?
But you just have them do that,
right?
And you didn't tell us why they were able to do it. That to me goes to the rules of the world. You have to show us why.
Yeah.
Because we know what the rules are already.
Yeah, especially a big rule like that. Like
you can't break a rule like
that. Yeah.
Like as a zombie head, I always tell writers, my favorite zombie movies are when nobody's ever seen them before. So you're in a world where they've never existed. I hate when people go, "There's a zombie outside."
Yeah.
I want somebody to go, "What the fuck happened to them? Something's wrong." You know what I mean?
Right.
That's when it's interesting to me. Not when they're called zombies. You know, I like that, you know, they call them walkers or something, just to give it something different. But I don't like when they're in a world where they exist already. I want it to be in a world we've never seen it before.
Absolutely.
You know, because now you can recreate
and the people are dealing with for the very first time.
Yeah. Because you don't know how. You don't understand it. You didn't know that if you shot them in the head that would, whatever.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You got to learn those things. You know what I mean? So,
Exactly. Like you cut the head off. You know, it's like, okay, now I need a sword. I understand that.
Exactly.
No, they're glittery. They're having trouble with their feelings. They need a psychiatrist. No.
A vampire.
Why? It's like you kill people, not as a living, but it's like that's who you are, right? So
hilarious. Let's talk about. So we talked about horror. What other type of genres do you guys like to record? Like you do a little. Would you call it supernatural? Would you call it?
I feel like I'm like with me. I'm really exploring. Like this has really been the first time I'm exploring in my own worlds and finding that I am leaning more to genres. Like maybe that's my style. Because like just a quick snippet. My journey as a writer, I still say it's fairly new, even though I'm blessed currently to be an executive story editor. But I wrote my first pilot, that pilot that you read, Valley of Bones. That was my very first pilot. I never like took a writing class. Thank you. I never took a writing class or anything. And at the time, I was on theater.
But you've been reading scripts for years.
No, no. I've been learning for like the last 5 years. So and on the job. So that pilot I wrote because I had just started also doing theater and writing plays. As my first background was as an actress, so I wrote Valley Bones because I had just been like living with that scripture. Then you, my people, would know that I'm the Lord when I open your graves and bring them up from them. And I kept hearing my people. I'm like, my people have to be Black folk. So I started exploring with Valley Bones. Like there has to be a reason why God has allowed all these tragedies or things to happen to the Black body. Like he has to have some safe space where we're just in waiting, where we can go and live in bliss. And you know, it was my way of answering what was going on at the time. It was like the Trayvon Martins, all these things were happening in the world. And so I went to writing just to give myself my own answers. So I wrote that piece, submitted it to Sundance. I was like, oh, you know, they say, you know, just get out the way. You may not get the first try, but I was blessed enough to get into Sundance with that first pilot. And my mentor, Graham Yost, literally called me. Yeah, he literally called me up a few months later and was like, that's how I got into the silo room. And so I've been learning in my journey as a writer and my voice while like on the journey of also like being in spaces. And so right now I'm finding that those things, I remember you always speak about like, what is the thing you always see in your scripts? It kind of like comes back. And so for me, I'm finding that I tend to deal with the idea of like utopia, the idea of like safe spaces as revolutionary acts, especially for people of color, where we are our own heroes and monsters. I tend to take whiteness out of the equation and how do we heal as a community or destroy ourselves. And so my best way in which I've been doing it is like I've been leaning more into like fantasy or the supernatural or horror in order to deal with those themes. And so right now I'm really doing a lot of like fantasy. I just wrote my first feature, Butterflies in the Mist, which is kind of like my own retelling of the Peter Pan story. Like if it, what was there was a safe space where Black boys can go that preserves their magic. But it has a blending of like this detective story where this detective is like looking into the investigation of these missing boys every 10 years until her own son goes missing. And he's pulled into that almost like this refuge where this creature, which represents Black motherhood, this banshee-like creature has stolen Black boys every 10 years because she believes that they're safer in the mist than what they can ever be in our own world. And so this mother is forced.
It's like a new dimension.
Yeah. So this mother is forced to go into the mist, this almost like dark reflection of her own world.
Oh, so you had mist in that one too.
Yeah, I have the mist.
You like the mist?
I don't know. It's something about it. It's almost like that. Hey, I'm a Southern girl, so I call it come out that haze that's above the swamps. It's like it's a whole world that can exist in there.
I like it.
And so she has to travel into this realm where she's ultimately going to make the decision: is my son safer to remain here, or do I bring him back into the world that could possibly destroy him? And again, and that just came from me as a mother, and me just riding the subway, and I because I used to sub in New York as a way to like offset also pursuing my dreams, and I would see how our boys were treated differently, or not allowed to be so loud, or not allowed to jump so high. And I'm on the subway and I see this little handsome chocolate boy, and he's swinging his legs. And the first thing that came to my mind is like, what age do they snatch that freedom away? So if I could get him before they take it away, how would that look like? And it started to form into this magical realm where you got, instead of flying ships, it's the flying slave ship. There's beautiful djembe drums and that speaks of many hundred African tongues, and they fly, and there's a chance for freedom. You know, and so, but
it sounds like a book too.
I've been exploring it as a novel. I'm writing my first novel as well.
I'm over here getting goosebumps.
Yeah,
and everything.
I'm exploring it as a novel as well, and for IP. But again, it was just my way of dealing with what was going on in the world. Me as a mother,
great, by the way.
Thank you. Me as a mother, and the choices that us as Black people specifically are often made in this world. So I'm like, hell, why can't we create our own safe spaces? Why can't we have our own utopia for our answers if this world isn't ever going to give it? And how does it look? And how do we either maintain it or destroy it? And so that's often what I love to explore in my world of genre. Right now, who knows what it might be in 5 years.
Can I just pause to give you some applause for real? Damn.
Yeah.
That was some bars.
Yeah. And that's how Valley came. You know what I mean? It was just. And now, like, with this election, I'm not trying to get too political, but I'm just saying, like, I'm finding that, like, what is the conversation for Black peace and Black sanctuary and it might not be outside the realms of what this country can ever give us. And so with Valley, even though my first pilot, Valley Bones, which has been my writing sample and it's got me staff, even though I initially started to explore it as a space where these people are almost in this purgatorial space, like almost like an afterlife, I'm like, forget afterlife. What can I have in this life?
Right.
And so I've been reimagining Valley of Bones now. It's almost like this severance of the Black South type of idea, where Black people have elected to have memories of racial trauma completely erased from their minds. And so they're living now on this own few years from now, own utopia, safe space where there is no memories of racism. Almost like we have that gift of what I would say white people are born into, where we don't have to, where they don't have to hold this ancestral trauma of what this country has done. And so, what would that look like? To me, it's like everybody got a porch. It's like everybody meet and have barbecues on Saturday. Everybody go to church on Sunday. They're just everybody's loving and just living. And so, when this young boy arrives, it begins to disrupt this peace. And because of motherhood, my protagonist begins to unearth the truth of what this place is. So like a severance of paradise. But again, it's my way. Like if we could take the pill, if we could erase all of this, is it better to know or to not know? And that's the question. You know what I mean? What do we lose as a people if we don't have that historical knowledge? And like, so those are the things that like thematically that I explored through genre for me. Here's what
I love about this, and I know I'm watching your body language, James. So I know you love it too.
I'm all about this all day.
Here's what I love about this. Like I got my man Aaron sitting over there watching us, and you see how well she describes the passion that came from her talking about it. There's a reason she gets in rooms. You know what I mean? Because of that, you can tell. You can tell why you probably shine in your meetings. You can tell why you shine in the rooms. You can tell you bring value. You're not afraid to speak. You know what I mean? So you could see why. You see what I mean?
Right.
So I'm only saying that to all of you guys out there listening right now. You know, this is your competition. Because it is one. People take it too lightly. I'm competing against James. That's how I think.
I hate
You know what I'm saying? But I'm also trying to find how can we work together.
True.
Because I know he brings value. You know, I'm doing something for you right now too. Anyway, whole nother sidebar. We'll talk about that later. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's what I do. I'm like, how can I help the next person do whatever, especially if they have something. Here's something I talk about a lot. You know this being a manager, James, in the literary rep. People come to you all the time talking about, oh, I got a script or I got a book. That's probably not even remotely in the genres that you're interested in.
Not even close.
You said not even close. Hilarious.
So I always tell everybody, the only time to approach somebody is when you bring value. So you bring value when, like, I bet if she pitched that to you, you'd be like, girl, let's write this book.
Today.
I'm writing it right now. I'm starting my first time.
You know what I'm saying? Publisher, man. You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
And so, but that is value. Now you're talking to my interests, to my passions, right? So that's where I learned, where I'm on this new trip where I'm starting to go out to my producer friends with packages and projects and stuff. So I'm like, where do I bring the value to them is when I know that these are things that they would want.
Right.
When I know this is in their wheelhouse, whether it be the theme, whether it be the genre, whatever it is, I'm trying to put things together that way. So instead of just going to James and go, James, I got this crazy over the top comedy. Wrong person.
Wrong person. Right.
You see what I'm saying? You're not bringing him any value. You see what I mean? You got to know who you're going to and stuff like that. So
I agree.
Whole other side.
No, it's true.
I get those every single day.
I just think people should like research who they're going. Like
it's just like, can you follow me on social media?
You know what I mean? Listen to the things that I talk about.
See what I'm saying and whatnot. And
I agree.
you know, the thing that gets me, and I gotta first say that I was so ridiculously moved by what you just said.
Oh, thank you so much.
Because what I do is
tell them to talk about it.
Going back to what Hilliard does, thematically, what I try to bring to the table is something to simply say that can't nobody do this without us. Being Black people. If you were to go back 100 years and take out the innovations, creations, and everything when we had basically nothing that we were able to bring into the world, right? The elevator, which is broken by the way. The telephone, Uncle Nearest. I mean, so many different things that we take for granted right now. Everyone.
Oh, yeah.
If you were to take all of those people out, where would this country be right now? Where would we be? We would not be what we are.
Yeah.
And so for me, and especially
Hell, the only reason you see us all over the world is because of us.
exactly.
You see us everywhere.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Just keep it real.
And so when I look at creating the stories that I create, motherhood plays a significant role, but in a very different way, and it's usually because of a child that has lost his mother, which mirrors my own life.
Gotcha.
And so, like with Black Bones Jones, for example, we opened the story with his mother being attacked by a demon. And everyone all the other slaves, everyone is just like, I'm way back here. I ain't doing nothing. This boy just like, I don't give a damn. I'm running up on this. And what I attribute that to is when I lost my mother to a violent, she was taken out. One of the things that I learned much later was like, she knew this person was going to do something, but what she didn't do was tell us, me and my brothers, because like we would have came and we from Cleveland, we gonna handle it. That was her way of protecting us.
That's her way of protecting you,
right?
Yeah.
So again, thematically, we going the same way.
Yes.
But so I'm thinking, in my mind, I've always said in the back of my mind, what would I have done to protect her? If I'd have known, what would I have done? And so this is what Jones does. It's like in that moment when his mother's being attacked, he goes to protect her, and in doing so, he's given a gift.
Wow.
He's given the powers.
Yes.
What we see through all of these worlds, from Black Bones Jones, from Darkest Cleveland, everything that I try to put forth is that Black people are essential. And we are not the resource, we are the source, right? So everything that comes out of creating something good, because you would think after all this time, people's like, oh well, one day Black people are going to rise up. It's like, if we was going to do that, we did that 120 years ago. I mean, seriously, right? Yep. But at the same time, it's like when you see people in need, or you see, it's just inherently within us. And so when in Black Bones Jones, for example, when Sheriff Poole, who knows that there's something evil coming to his town, knows in 1865, the only person I can go to who can stop this thing is a Black man in 1865, right? So for
in the middle
him,
of the war,
right?
The war's about to end.
And so for him, the humility that he has to have to literally walk up to this man, take off his hat and says, I need your help. I'm begging you to help me, knowing what this person has gone through. And it's like, I get it. I wasn't there, because it's like, I sort of lay the excuse. It's like, well, I wasn't there 100 years ago, so why am I?
Right.
That sort of deal. But at the same time, he has to learn. And he has to also partially go through the experiences. So he embraces and experiences the trauma in order to save the people he loves. But in doing so, he learns, it's like everything that I've been taught about you is wrong. It's been a lie. And so what I try to bring with all of the stuff that I do, it's like, what makes us so significant? It's the fact that in spite of everything that's been done, in spite of all the limitations and everything, we still find a way to conquer. And so for me, biblically, it always goes back to this one thing, that I'm going to be successful. I am going to be successful in the presence of my enemies.
Yeah, there
now,
you go.
Who are my enemies? I'm not saying it's one group of people,
right?
But my true enemy is evil itself, right? But we know how evil operates, right? And so it's just like, if I'm going to still win, it's like, what have my ancestors done? Look at all of these people. Look at Dr. Charles Drew. Right. Look at every filmmaker, even before Michelle. Who's been doing this and telling story, and everything that's been passed down from generation to generation. Why do we still keep going? The only reason is because we have been blessed.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
Because despite the
I
trauma,
agree.
despite every reason, every logical, reasonable reason to say, I'm going to lash out, no, we don't.
Mm.
Why? Why is that? Why
Listen,
is
man, I have a line in one of my plays into that aspect that there's something inside of us that doesn't want to see the world burn.
we don't?
Because we know the earth.
Right.
We've watered the earth. We are of the earth.
Yes.
And in my understanding, not to get too biblical, but in truth, I believe we're God's chosen people. And that's kind of like what I was exploring with Valley of Bones.
Yeah.
Like we are a lighthouse. We are to show the way. And
Right.
even though we have been persecuted, there is something embedded into the souls of Blackness
Yep.
that is so close to God's love that evil cannot destroy it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's genre. That's superpower.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But like, how many times have like you brought a friend home, like, you know, your mom, your grandma, whatnot, and instead of like, you know, your non-Black friends home, instead of them getting like, oh my God, they're going to do this, they're going to that, your mom, your grandma, like, baby, come on down and sit down. Let me
Sit
make
down,
you
exactly.
something to eat.
Everybody get a plate.
Everybody get in the plate, right? and to see the expression on their faces, like, my God, what have I been missing? And my oldest son's best friend loves my wife's cooking. It's like when he graduated from high school, it's just like, we treat you like family. What do you want? He's like, look, I don't want nothing else but mom's chicken.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, because she just puts some kind of love on it, right?
Yeah.
But when we bring that to genre, we bring it back home. When we bring that to genre, what we're doing is we're not just telling our story. We're telling it through our lens, but we're telling the story of humanity.
Yes.
And we're trying to teach people that, look, in spite of what you hear, in spite of what you see, in spite of what you have been told, here's the real version of what we are. And that's why I think representation in storytelling is essential. And it's gone beyond. It's
and not just using Black characters as like
No.
tropes.
Yeah.
You know, the Trojan horse or the, you know what I mean? That comes at the end of Save the Day with the little voodoo.
Right,
No,
yeah.
Full characters that embody the world fully.
Well, it's kind of like the conversation that we had before we got started about Huggy Bear, right?
Yeah, yes.
It's like, you know, all this time we're thinking Huggy Bear is this, when this man is a business owner, he's got restaurants, he's got club, he's not a pimp.
Right.
Go back, all y'all listening, go back and check out Tubi, go watch the Starsky and Hutch and check out what Huggy Bear is doing. He's not a pimp. But the perception, right?
Because he's so cool.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. It's like, he gotta be, you know, that's not him. And so the beauty that I think, and what I try and do in all of my stories, is that it's not a battle of one race versus another.
Yes.
It's a battle of good versus evil, but at the same time, it's just like, these are the people that you persecuted, but the very people that you persecuted are the one thing that will ultimately save you in everything that you love.
I love it.
Okay. I like that. That's cute.
Yes.
Let's talk about how do you guys like to, we were starting to get there, about how you guys like to mix the genres, the hyphenates and stuff like that. You were talking about how you do a little...
I always feel like I tend to like mix stylistically some kind of like the genre or the style. Either if it's like horror with a little fantasy, or, you know what I mean? I think it kind of all encompasses it, because I think it's all genre.
Yeah.
But I haven't really as of yet, wrote something that is straight horror or straight fantasy. It's usually have other elements to it. So yeah, that's just what
I tend to do horror, action, sci-fi. Like I usually mix the three in some way and somehow, and one of them might be stronger than the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It might have started in the horror world, but I got happy with the action.
Yeah.
So I turned up the monster, or the beast, or the zombie, or whatever the thing it was.
Yes.
And so I made sure that every sequence had a big set piece somewhere that, you know, turned it. It's character driven, of course, but just took us on a ride. So we had to go through these obstacles every 8 to 10 pages. Something big was happening. You know what I mean? And yet the sci-fi world may get us in there, but it doesn't stay there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like little things. That's why it has that. You know, interesting.
Yeah.
I like to, and the only reason why I did this was because, like, when all of the Marvel movies hit, and, you know, everybody was just like, oh, we need a black superhero. I was like, all right, so everybody's over here doing this, and then the future and the fantasy stuff. I'm like, I want to go back to the past. I want to go, you know, it's just like Black Rose Jones is like a Western horror. In Darkest Cleveland is sort of like a gothic noir, but with a black central figure who's like this paranormal investigator. And they all come from the same lineage. And so I'm like, and again, it's like I want to put my characters in spaces where the world around them makes it uncomfortable for people like us. But at the same time, people who are not like us know that they need us in order to survive. It's like, this is the person that we can't go to anyone else. We done tried Dr. So-and-so. We done tried this. We done put the salt, but no, we need the source, not the resource. So yeah, that's what I love to blend. I have a comedy.
You have a comedy horror?
I have a comedy horror, but it's a throwback to the 70s. Because the one thing that I never did well, but I always loved to go and do was skate.
Okay.
So, I was always checking out, skate night and whatnot. Right. But it was always like Friday night we had to leave because I was under 18. It's just like, the midnight skate. That's where all the fine ladies come in. That's where it get real serious. And I'm just like, oh, okay, so what if I wanted to get into the midnight skate, but like only to find out the midnight skate was just like a bunch of vampires.
Oh, there we go. I love that. Yeah.
So, I can deal with that.
I see. I tend to have like a lot of like, there's normally a mystery thriller aspect to it, like something that needs to be uncovered with the horror. So I find that in a lot of my scripts that there's a secret that our protagonist has to figure out, but sometimes by figuring out, they're also in a dilemma because it can destroy what they're a part of. You know what I mean? So that peril of decision making.
For me, the characters, everybody has a secret at the beginning, and over the course of the story, you reveal what the secrets were and why they are the way they are at some point. And then I'm always dealing with, depends on the thing, but I always have a ticking clock. Like it never takes. I think out of my 40-something scripts, almost all of them take place over a day or two.
Okay.
Because it paces. It makes you move faster.
Yeah.
Is it more so with your features, or is it also with everything? No matter.
Yeah. Like my Black Wall Street script, which I wrote years ago. Like people always say, it's like one of the main ones in Hollywood or whatever that hasn't been done. Takes place in 36 hours or something. It's like I set up at the beginning and it goes all the way through the battle, the fight, and all that stuff, and then in the morning, what happened. Literally, just like over that course of time, but it ends on this beautiful hope and what could happen and blah blah blah. And but there's a few movies that I have that like when I'm doing some bios, you gotta kind of you know what I mean, because it takes place over time. But if it's just me, I'm trying to figure out how can I move this thing fast? How can I get moving?
I like it. It's that heartbeat of it all. Like yeah. I love it.
Because to me it drags. As soon as you go, oh, this took place over 3 summers. I'm like,
no.
Unless you really know how to keep it going. Like this summer happened, that's Act 1. Act 2 is summer 3, and summer 3 is Act 3, and then it kind of all makes sense to me. But if you're like mulling about and we still got time because we're here, I'm like, why are we even in the scene?
Exactly.
Why is the script so long? You know what I mean? There's no urgency. That's what's usually missing. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that means the obstacles aren't strong, and the stakes aren't high.
Yes.
Not high enough.
You know what I mean?
I love a ticking clock as well. Yeah. My butterflies feature. Yeah, like she has to save him before the next blue moon rises. So she really has a ticking clock. It makes it even more peril. Like you're trying to save your child. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, in my Virulent script, the zombie one, they go inside of this like time machine thing that spits them out to modern day Tokyo.
Oh wow!
And they have 17 hours to get back to save his daughter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And by the time, within 2 hours, all of Tokyo is overrun by zombies. You know what I mean? So it's like, but because but I set the rules up that way.
Yeah, you set the rules.
So as soon as if they bite your bitch, you turn in like that. You know what I mean? So you can imagine they just start going crazy. But it keeps that clock going. So there's never. Yes, you're gonna have moments where but it's usually like after you've hidden somewhere. Now you guys are talking and calming down for a second. Then you go, okay, bitch, get your weapons. We gotta
go back.
You know what I mean? And to me, those ones are the funnest.
And there's something to be said about when you put that kind of a limitation on the story,
Mhm.
in that it not only increases the tension and the stakes, it also increases the value.
Yes.
Because it's just like by the end of this, like what was the one I was just thinking of it, The Ring.
Oh, the ring, yeah.
Mhm.
It's just like you watch this tape, you got 7 days.
Right.
Mhm.
And at the end of
Figure it out.
you got to
Yes.
figure it out. But what I love is that for those 7 days, stuff is happening,
Oh,
Yes.
and it's getting progressively worse.
Right.
And so you need to resolve this. It Follows was the same way.
Mhm.
It's like this thing is going to keep coming at you until you sleep with someone else and pass this on.
Mhm.
And I've always wondered, just like, what if you slept with somebody and they did all the things, and it's 20 years later, and now this thing's coming back to you.
Mm.
Well, think about, like we were talking about Night of the Living Dead. We're talking about the Evil Dead. One night.
One night.
You know what I mean? If you think about all those classic Friday the 13th, one night,
One
like
night.
all those classic movies.
Sinners was what one night?
Yeah,
As
one night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
One
think
night.
about that. Like, there's a reason they do that,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
it keeps it going, and it raises the stakes. If
Yeah.
they got to do it by this time,
Yes.
Yeah,
And
Black
And,
Belt
and
Jones
also
was 3
forces
days.
characters to
be
make
active.
decisions
Yeah.
and be
Yes.
active, because
Yes.
time is of the essence. You know what I mean? You
Absolutely.
can't sit down and figure out 101 ways in which we can kill this monster,
Exactly.
and that's how you can see if this is the right
Right.
choice or the bad
This is the bad
choice.
one.
And I was talking earlier about not being the biggest fan of comedy and zombie, but Shaun of the Dead is the most perfect movie. Too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's always moving.
Because it has all the elements of a movie. It goes from being funny to having scary moments
Mm-hmm.
to funny moments to laughter
Mhm.
to heart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It makes you cry. I mean, it has every element in that movie, and you could die.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Even still, you could die. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's like, to me, that's hard to do.
Yeah.
It's hard to do, and they still have us to. You know what I mean? So to me, that is the most perfect movie that combines the two. Somebody else out there, some other cinephile is gonna be like, "Oh, you got
I
this
have another one.
movie, this
Exactly.
I ain't seen it yet, bitch. I ain't seen it.
I only talk about what I know.
Exactly. What's next for you guys? What you guys working on that you could talk about? Where do you see genre going? You know?
Okay.
Ladies first.
Okay, awesome. I mean, for myself, I've been focusing a lot of development. So I have a few, like I said, some of the projects that I mentioned today that I'm working on or expanding. Like I mentioned with the Valley, I've been working on it to series. I've never fully pitched it as anyone for series. It's only been like my sample, and so I'm revisiting that world.
There's some great roles for some strong actors out there, for sure.
So I'm in a world of like, I want to like just sell and like some of my own projects and just create and give myself permission not to wait on the industry or things like that. I've learned for myself, like I've had a big like creative like shock of what this industry is and like how it works because coming out of this strike. Because like I said, I was so green coming in and but also so blessed to have been staffed so many times back to back very early on. That these moments of like downtime has been the first for me to like navigate coming back to some of the original things that got me here in the first place. Like even finding, that's why I'm so blessed that I found your the Screenwriters' because it helped me so much in this time, in this moment when I was trying to figure out, when I was just trying to figure out how this industry works or how do I maintain agency and maintain peace or just maintain giving myself the permission to write the stories that really matter to me. Because like, as I spoke, a lot of my themes right now in the world will tell me that those stories are hard to make or could be hard to get done. But I want to be an artist that stays fast to the stories that beats in my heart. And that's why I'm passionate about when I bring up things. I don't write anything that doesn't mean something to me. And I know we have to sometimes be more commercial or figure out, and if that project come, whatever, but my emphasis is creating the worlds that matter, the worlds that I see in my head, the worlds that keep me up at night, the worlds that's in my dreams. And so that's what I'm doing right now, development and just creating community and connections and I'm excited for what's to come.
We're gonna talk about some shit later.
Thank you.
What about you, James?
I always like to deal with the elephant in the room, which was 2025. And
Well,
Lord Jesus. If there was
You got a
nothing,
movie done last year.
I did
there
get a
you
movie
go.
done. So thank you, Jesus. I got a
Thank you,
movie
Jesus.
done. It's in the can. I got paid.
There you go.
You know, so it's all good. But I made a decision this year because, you know, if you follow me on any social media, I'm your cheerleader. I'm your coach. I'm the dude that's just like, we're going to succeed. We're going to get through. I made a decision January 3rd of this year that this is going to be my Vegeta year. Now, for all y'all kids out there who know your Dragon Ball Z, y'all know where I'm going, right?
What's that?
Break it
So,
down.
Vegeta. So, like, I didn't try to be Goku, right? Goku's
Oh,
the
okay.
hero, right?
All right. I got you.
Goku is the hero, right? Goku always
Josh said he knows what you're talking
yeah. Always tries to do the good stuff, you know, and whatnot. And Vegeta's just like, the hell with y'all. Vegeta is Killmonger, right?
Killmonger.
Vegeta is Killmonger. So this is my Vegeta year,
All
right?
right.
And so
Okay.
one of the things that I'm doing right now is because I always believe in leading by example. And I've heard a lot of my friends, because of all the stuff that happened last year, talking about, I'm thinking about getting out, I'm thinking about leaving the biz.
Yeah, it's a
You know,
hard year.
people-
last year.
people-
so many
It
people
was
last
so
year.
many
last year
people,
was
yeah.
a hard year.
And it's just like, you know, someone even asked you, just like, James, why are you even still trying to do this?
Mhm.
I said, because I give a damn.
Right.
I said, number one. Number two is because the best thing that you can do to really fire me up is to put me in a position where you want me to believe that I can. So,
Here you go.
so here we go. So this year,
he went DMX on us. didn't he?
So did. I told you,
so this year, my publishing company, Dark Anthem Press, we're going to be releasing 4 more brand new books.
Okay.
2 of them are mine. 2 of them are by brand new authors who are just getting their feet wet. Both of them are screenwriters who are now making that transition to become authors and own their IP. Own your damn IP.
Right.
Just like Hilliard loves to say, we game all day. My mantra is ass plus chair equals script. So I don't care if you're feeling bad, glad, sad, mad, whatever. Put your butt in the chair and continue to create.
Yeah, there you go.
You can't not create. And so a normal year for me, I try to knock out 7 scripts,
Okay.
7 brand new projects. This year I'm going for.
See your competition. That's what
Wow,
I'm
I'm saying,
Oh,
there we go.
y'all! Let me tell you, y'all don't want me for competition because sit me down.
He said, y'all, you can't mess with my pen.
Don't come for me because I will pop 2 ibuprofens and sit in my chair for 12
For
straight
12 straight hours?
and not move. Ask my wife. That woman sometimes feels like the most neglected woman on the planet.
Oh,
But I make it up on the weekend and take it to
There
the
we
beach.
go, there we go.
So I've got 4 new books. I'm finally going to break my directorial cherry and direct a short.
Smart.
That's socially topical. But I'm also trying to help a few other folks get into places and spaces they otherwise would not be able to get into. Disabled folks, folks over 40, women writers especially, because I'm just like, why are y'all sleeping on these ladies? It's crazy. But I've got another film project that's potentially in the works. I'm working on the sequel to Black Bones Jones, which is going to be harder. It's going to be much harder. And I've dropped a few things that I was working on because I want to dial it in tighter. As much as I enjoy helping people and, you know, trying to find ways to get other creatives to have space, I've also learned that the best way to do it is to lead by example. And so if I'm not out here creating and doing all of this other stuff, which is why I got into management in the first place, because I'm just like, when a screenwriter tells me, it's just like, I feel like this, I'm like, I understand. I felt that way too. I had a screenwriter I was talking to yesterday. She's like, my mom called me a loser.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, you have to understand, your mom comes from a different place.
Yes.
She doesn't understand your dream, and God gave that gift to you, not your mama.
Right.
So mama need to go sit down somewhere, but you need to keep scrolling, keep moving, keep doing all the stuff. I'm going to be more aggressive than I have ever been in my entire life.
Okay.
I don't want to sit back at the end of 2026 and say coulda, woulda, shoulda.
I agree.
At every portal, at every lane that I have an opportunity either to raise my voice or to simply have access, I'm going after it. And so I'm not apologizing. Like I said, this is my Vegeta year. I'm coming with a vengeance, and like, I'm not apologizing.
Yes.
And I'm not asking for permission anymore. So win, lose, or draw, Unc's coming hard, y'all.
Let's go.
Y'all thought X was gonna give it to you. Unc about to.
Uncle about to give it to you. I love it.
I love it. That's dope. I'm just on this new tip, and we'll talk about it some more.
Okay.
Where I'm taking projects out. I've been in development hell for a long time, and it's time for me to use all the people that I know, and make shit happen. So I got 2 projects right now. I brought 2 showrunners on to come on board. We had a pitch this week. We just pushed it another week or 2, and then that's for TV. I got 2 movies I'm about to go out with this week to some big people.
Congrats.
Yeah. So there's a lot of shit happening. I got some animation shit I might be talking to some people about. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. And I just want to help people now, but in a positive way. Where usually I'm like James, where I'm just always helping everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm like, why am I using what I know to help them come on board with the projects and help them
Say
get
less.
this job?
Yeah.
Yep.
All my other friends are doing it. What the fuck am I? The
No,
only
you got
one
it. Yeah.
not doing it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So that's why I'm on a new tip.
Mm-hmm.
Where that's what I'm doing right now. So of course, you're always still trying to, get some staff stuff going. But I feel like I might be better off coming in with a project that I'm excited about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even though the process takes longer for the room happens that way, but at least I have more power, in that situation. So we'll see. I'm feeling really good about all that stuff like that. So far, out of the 5 projects I have, I already got 2 showrunners attached. About to go out to 2 more next week. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, and everybody's responding. Nobody's like ignored me. You know what I mean? So I'm like,
seeds,
okay.
Of course.
And
Yes.
Carl Seaton told me, we did our plans and goals episode.
Uh-huh.
Carl Seaton, shout out to Carl, he just texted me. He said, Hill, I want you to do 3 things you're afraid of this year.
Mm.
And I was like, huh. And one of them was reaching out to one of the people who already responded back.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's funny. And when I think about why I was afraid to reach out to them, I don't know if I was afraid. It was more like somebody said something like, oh, well, they probably just ain't tripping on you.
Right.
And so I was like, okay, well, fuck them too. If they don't like
Right,
me,
you
fuck them.
internalize somebody else's
You know what I
comment.
mean?
Yeah.
Instead of going, well, let me see.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's a miscommunication somewhere, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I just reached out and they're like, oh, dude, I've been loving to work out. Sure, send me the thing. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, what was I waiting for?
Right.
Listening to somebody else going, oh, well, maybe they didn't. You know what I mean? I was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay. So shit like that, I'm stop doing.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Stop it now.
Yeah.
Go with your instinct.
But that's a perfect example, right there. Because and this is for everyone who's if this is the first time you've listened to Hilliard's podcast, why you should be listening to it religiously.
Mm-hmm.
Game all day is not a catchphrase. It's not
Right.
a slogan. It's what this man does. I mean, he lives and breathes this all the time. This is one of the things I respect the most about him, because when people ask me, it's just like, so when you say ass plus chair, it's like, it's exactly what you don't have to you ain't got to have no explanation. You put your ass in the chair and you write.
And you just do.
And I do that 6-7 days a week.
Yeah.
When Hilliard says game all day, this is what I'm talking about. While other people are out here putting up posts on social media, Hollywood's dying, the industry's falling apart. Hill's out here getting showrunners.
Mm-hmm.
Hill's out here making stuff happen, so you can sit back and listen to the naysayers.
Right.
Wallow. And wallow with all the doom and gloom folks and all the people who's like, you should be doing this now because Hollywood is never going to make another. You should just get out there and put in the damn work.
Put in the work.
Right.
You don't need any permission from anybody to sit down and write.
That's
create.
that
You need no one but yourself, a computer or a pad.
100%. 100%. I heard a pastor say this, that the reason why creative people, yes, y'all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Creative people are the most closest to God is because what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
What did God do? He spoke and he created.
He went out.
He went out.
You know
He just
what I mean?
I ain't waiting on y'all.
He said, I'm about my father's business.
Damn, there it is. I didn't do
He was outside.
He was outside.
I'm doing
He
it
was
down there.
outside.
But if you've been given a creative gift, no matter what it is, your
Yes.
job is to do what? Is to
Yes.
create.
Yes. And like for myself, like, cause I'm a mother, I'm a wife. Like I know times can get hard and rent got to get paid, but like find ways in which you can structure your life in a way that allows space to create.
Right.
Creation is priority to me. I structure my life, the type of jobs I take or don't take or have done in order to sit down and create because it brings me one,
Sure.
it brings me joy. I
Yeah.
love to write.
Right.
Yes.
But two, it's like if this is what I'm trying to go after, every day should be moving that needle forward in
Yep.
some way and not giving excuses of lifestyle that's getting in the way. You can figure it out. Wake up earlier.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Do something
Yeah.
to just create.
Here's an interesting thing about our industry in particular.
Yes.
And you were like right on the money with everything you both were saying. This is the one industry where you cannot predict
Mm-mm.
when your door is going to open for you.
True.
And it may be a small door. So we don't see the small doors.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You getting staffed on those shows are big and small doors because you're still not running the show yet. You're not.
Right,
You
exactly.
haven't produced your. You see what I mean?
Yes.
See, people just go, "Oh, well, you still have your show." You're like,
Mhm.
"Bitch, I've been in a room though." You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's like about seeing those little things. Matter of fact, on that same conversation I was having with Carl and Saeed and Tracy on that episode, we were talking about that thing where Kevin Hart took him like 13 years before he made it, so to speak, right?
Mhm.
But we forget all those 13 years, he was like the pilot king. He had all kind of pilots he was
Right.
doing, you know what I mean?
Right.
So he had all these little things that happened,
Yep.
and everybody's like, I ain't seen you. He's like, I just shot a pilot. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
But where you been? So Hollywood and people out there in the internet don't know you until they see what you're doing.
Right.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So it's like a weird thing. So what I always tell everybody is this. Piggybacking off what y'all talking about. This is why I was you didn't see it inside of me. I lit up like crazy when you talked about directing.
Mm.
Because it's the progression. Like taking your script and now turning it into a book is the progression.
Yep.
Mhm.
You're not waiting for Hollywood no more.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? You cannot. Like I said, there's a reason I don't have 900 network shows behind me,
Right.
and I have 900 indie shows behind me.
Right.
It's because I didn't wait for Hollywood anymore.
That's
You
it.
know what I mean? That's the only reason why I can do everything they could do.
Mhm.
There you go.
Everything. You know what I'm saying? And so your thing is to become that guy and girl
Mm-hmm.
who, when you're blessed to be on the show, when you're blessed to have your show, you know how because you did it.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're not learning how to do it when you get it. That's the opposite thing they don't tell you about working your way up. You got to learn how to do it on your way
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
You know
You
what I
got to
mean?
learn even in the quiet moments to
Yeah.
be teachable. And
Yeah.
what are you positions are you putting yourself in to learn those hard lessons?
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at. So I when you said those small doors and how you were speaking out with your 2026, that's what I'm getting back to.
Yeah.
Because those moments when you assume
That's
it's
what
just
keeps
this
you going.
little
Yeah.
moment, but it's also like what got you things in the first place.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Reaching out instead of just up. You know what I mean? I'm no
Yeah.
longer just like, oh, I gotta just get that room. I just get this. I want this. Let me show up today to be with Hilliard in the writers' rent room. Let me
Say
go
that.
to this
Saying
meeting
yes.
as a WGA.
Yep.
Let me say yes. Let me just go to this friend's reading. Let me just do a reading. Let me just
Yeah.
invite some people to my house and sit in my couch
Right.
and hear my play or hear my script.
Right.
That
she
is
didn't
what.
talk about it sometimes.
I'm just saying, this is what I'm doing in 2026. This is the new thing. Because when it gives you urgency, it gives you power over your own craft and be of service to others.
Always.
Because this industry is so easy to make you think that it's all about you and all about what you want. Being of service brings community, brings opportunity to expand exactly where you're supposed to go,
There
where
you
God
go.
wants you to go.
Mhm.
And that's my 2026.
Your gifts
what I'm
will
doing.
make room for you.
Yes.
Yes. Your godly gifts will make room for you.
Yes.
And if you were not out here trying to be a blessing
To somebody else, yeah.
to somebody else on this journey,
Mhm.
your own blessing will be hollow.
Yes.
It will and it won't last.
Come on.
And you know, I make a point of every Thursday, when I'm on social media, of finding someone and just doing a video just about them and saying, "This is why I'm thankful for you.
Yeah.
This is
He did it for me. He's
Yeah.
that. He's that. Yeah.
this is why I'm thankful for you. Just because you are here, you are doing this.
Yeah.
I'm about to do my Black History Month, so you're gonna be on that again.
That's what's up.
But here's the thing: I do it not to get something back.
Right.
Mhm.
Yes.
I do it just to say, listen, if I can raise a light on you, if I can raise a light on other people, if I can get other people to see you and you can shine. Now, I ain't got to worry about whether or not, when something happened to one of us, it'd be like, yeah, man, I wish I'd have told James this. I wish I'd have. No, I'm saying it right now.
Yeah.
I'm saying it in the moment and in the presence of your
To the world.
To the world.
Yeah.
To the world. And so you got to. This is a relationship business more so than anything else. And if you are not out here actively trying to build genuine, sincere relationships where you are not getting anything back,
right. Yeah,
you're gonna have a short career. You're gonna have a real short career.
While you're saying that, we got to shout out Uncle Paul Guillo and Craig Williams over there, killing the game out there. You know, love them.
My two competing uncles, because like Uncle me and Uncle Craig got it. It's like I'm an uncle too. It's like, bro, why you got
everybody uncle.
Where can people follow you at, Lekethia? Sorry.
Yes, you're fine. You can check me out on my website, www.lekethiadalcoe.com. That's LekethiaDalcoe. Same name can be found on Instagram or Facebook. Hit me up. I'm here. That's it.
That's what's up. What about you, Uncle James?
You can go to onemore.com, ONEMOORER. It's my main hub. You can also go to darkanthempress.com. That is our first publishing company. Our second publishing company, One Anthem, launches at the end of next month.
Okay.
You can also find me, James Moore, on Facebook, One More on Instagram. Uncle James's backup on TikTok, because I'll be out there, y'all. I'll be out there. I just, I'm trying to help folks. But yeah, reach out. You can shoot me an email at james@onemore.com if you have questions about your project, or if you have a script that fits in with what I do. But please see my social media before you just send me an email. Lord Jesus. And no more, please don't nobody send me no more scripts about like your grandmother did this and whatnot, unless she was a serial killer. Then I'm interested.
Exactly. I'm the same way. People tell me stuff and I'm like, wait a minute, that's a horror? Oh yeah, send that to me then.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll throw out my email too. Like of course I'm on IMDb, but also my first and last name at gmail.com.
That's what's up.
Take.
You know, it's actually branding her name like James did. That's how you do it.
Yeah, it's not that many Lekethias out there. It wasn't hard,
And I am your host, Hilliard Guest. You guys can find me everywhere at Hilliard Guest on everything. Please, we have a new Screenwriters Rant Room on IG, Instagram. Also, we have a Screenwriters Rant Room. Excuse me, new YouTube channel. I'm on like 2 hours of sleep. I apologize. I'm serious.
You got it.
YouTube channel. Please follow it. Please subscribe to the show. We're trying to build that out. Lots of videos are starting to pop up there. Lots of clips. So please check it out. Subscribe, like, comment. We need all that stuff on there.
Right.
Screenwritersrantroom.com. Check out the merch page. You can get your shirt. You see me and Lekethia sporting it right now. We got them in black. We got them in white, gray, and royal blue. We got V-neck and crew neck, because I like the V-neck.
Oh,
usually.
okay.
People always like, I'm like, fine, I'll get you the crew neck. Anyway, so thank y'all. We appreciate everybody who buys them, support them. It's actually the best way to support the show, because I don't make any money on the show. So thank y'all. Love y'all. All right? Not yet, but we about to get some sponsorship.
Right. There we go.
I'm open to sponsorship to all you guys. If you guys want to support the show, you want to, blast out, any type of, thing that I'll support. I'm only going to take things that I support, though. I'm not just going to take, somebody hit me about marijuana. I'm like, I mean, a brother can use that money, but I don't,
Not quite yet.
Not yet. I'll be like, James put that one on, and that's James. That's James.
Yeah. Where, we can certainly have a conversation.
That's funny. I'll take 10%. I'll take 10%. Anyway, thank you guys. We appreciate you guys. Thank you, Aaron, for sitting in. My man, Joshua, for on the ones and twos. I call the camera the ones and twos, like we're cool.
There we go.
Only the old DJs will understand that. So thank you guys. Appreciate you guys sitting in with us and helping us with the camera and stuff like that. Thank you. Everybody joining me for Game All Day.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Indeed.
And a happy Super Bowl day. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yes,
indeed.
go Hawks, go Seahawks.
Who you want? Who you want?
He said
I got to have the Seahawks. I can't. We got problems with New England because I'm from Cleveland. So
I'm gonna go home and pretend like I know, and with my
Hilarious.
husband that I know what I'm talking about. That's what whoever wins.
You'll be talking shit outside.
Yeah. What?
there you go.
Hey, you guys know how we do it on the Rant Room. On the show, we keep it real. We keep it opinionated. We keep it what, everybody?
Game
all day.
Peace, y'all.